Jambo, Jambo again this new day. It's a great day. And your favorite storyteller, Stanley Kareidi, has one more story for you. It's about myself. Years ago, when I was a small boy, I was about 7 years old. And my mommy thought I was big enough to join elementary school. When I was growing up, we didn't have kindergarten. There were no nursery schools. You went straight from home to school, grade 1. And when my mom thought at least was time for me to go to join school, she took me to the school principal, the headmaster. And the interview was supposed to be easy. You only had to raise your hand over your head and touch your ear. If you didn't touch your ear, you are not old enough. It was not about how smart you are. It was about whether you are big enough to go to school. So if you ask your 3-4-year-olds to do that, they will never be able to touch their ear. From 6-7 years old, you are able to very easily reach your ear over your head. So this is what happened. So I went for the interview and I could barely touch the ear. I was a small boy, but my mom was able to convince the head teacher that I was big enough. So I was accepted. So from the school interview, as we were going back home, we went through this shop where we had a tailor. She was a lady from the village, and she took the measurements of my pair of shorts and the shirt that was to be my school uniform. We have school uniforms in Kenya. Shoes is not part of the school uniform. As I was growing up, nobody had shoes to go to school. We went barefooted. So the short, she took the measurements and we went home. A week before schools opened, I went and picked up the pair of shorts and the shirt that I was supposed to wear to go to school for the first time. Like any other boy at that time, this was the first time I wore a pair of shorts. Every other time in the village, from 0 years to 7 years, we walked commando, we walked free. You only had a long shirt or a long t-shirt, and that is what you used. We never covered our private parts. For the boys it was okay. The girls were always covered. Why, I do not know. So the time to go to school comes, and it's a Monday morning, and I put on my pair of shorts for the first time and the shirt. I tell you, it was the most uncomfortable feeling. You can imagine you are 8 or 7 years old and you have your underwear or your pair of shorts for the first time. It was very uncomfortable because I felt like I was in prison. Walking was a problem. Walking in a pair of shorts for the first time, you walked like this, with your legs astride. It was not just for me, even other boys my age, we go to school and you could tell this is a new student in school because everybody is walking with their legs like this. Very uncomfortable feeling. So we go to school and you have to go through this opening. There was no gate, but there was an imaginary gate and an imaginary boundary. So everybody had to go through this area to get to school. We would go there, go to class. There's an assembly. Everybody assembles at this point and the principal gives a speech and welcomes all the new students. Then we are shown our new classrooms. We go in there and it's very uncomfortable. Everything else was good, but being in a short, being in jail, some plots, some areas that were used to roaming free were in prison. and it was not easy. So the bell would ring at about 12 o'clock so that the first, second and third graders would go home for the day. The school only went for half day. So at 12 o'clock the bell would ring and we would all rush towards this imaginary gate. And the moment we crossed out of the school compound, all of us, all the boys, we got rid of our pairs of shorts. We stuck them behind in our school bags, and it felt like coming out of prison. We were smiling all the way home because, you know, we were not used to it. So we waited until 12 o'clock, cross that boundary line, get rid of our school uniform, the shorts, put them in the school bag and walk home. And we would play, we would do all kind of games along the way. We always looked forward to when it would rain, because when it rained, some of these roads, the walkways towards home, they had this very special clay soil that was very slimy, very slippery. And if you played with it, it made a very good surface for African skiing. So every time it would rain, we would have fun, and it was real fun. We would get to this place, it's steep like this, and we would remove even our shirts, put them on the side, and compete with each other, try to outdo each other with different styles. Somebody would walk back 20 feet, come running so fast, then apply emergency brakes and go like, you just slide down. Another guy would come, hold his waist, or do nasty things. Some would even come, then suddenly sit down and just balance, and they go all the way. So we were doing that. Every time it rained, we would do that, then go back, put on our clothes and walk home. So one Friday, we were psyched up. We really wanted to do it. It was a Friday, we knew Saturday was coming and there was no waking up early in the morning. So the bell rang at 12 o'clock. We crossed the imaginary line. We got rid of our shorts, put them in our school bags, and we ran towards this African skiing spot. We got there, it had rained, but the rain was not enough. It just had just a little bit. It was not enough to make it wet and smooth enough for our spot. So we got there and we are very disappointed because this is a Friday and we need to do this. Today everybody was eager to do it and do it better than the other day. But we tried doing it, but it was still very tough and rough, not smooth enough. We said, now what do we do? One guy, there is always a problem solver. So this guy, he said, I think we can make it wet. I know you are guessing how we made it wet. In the next minute, all the boys, we are running up and down this small path. We made this place wet. I tell you, it was better than any other time before. I think there is something in the pea. There is some oil, there is some fat in the pea that made it even smoother. And this was a day that I will never forget. It became so good, we removed even our shirts, everything, so that we would not get stains, mud stains on them. Everything, we piled them on the base of this tree, and we are busy outdoing each other. We would try different styles. As we were having fun, a lady, a woman, a neighbor, was walking from the market and she saw what we were doing. We were busy, we never saw her, nobody saw her come. And she sneaked up slowly all the way to the base of the tree. where our uniforms were and the school bus. She picked all the uniforms, the shirts and the pairs of shorts, put in her bag and walked away. So when we were done skiing, it was time to go home. It's almost 6 o'clock now. From 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock, 6 hours of fun. We went to the base of the tree to look for our clothes. There was nothing. The bags were there, but we didn't have any clothes. It was a dilemma. We didn't know what to do. It was everybody for himself. I knew I was going to be in big trouble. How do you explain how you lost your clothes? The problem was even to get home. We still were a long way from home. So everybody decided you had to go, you had to do something, you had to go home. You take care of yourself. So I decided to walk home. I had to walk through cornfields. But when I got to the road and I had to cross a road, I would look right, left, like a dick or an impala. Jump across the road very quickly because I was naked, I was nude, I didn't have anything. I had a school bag with a pencil and a book, and there was nothing else. So I would just jump across the road and keep going. Then I would get another road, look right, left. There's nobody seeing me. If there was somebody passing, I would wait until they had gone, they had vanished. Then I would cross again. I had crossed like 3 roads before I got home. Then I got home, I sneaked up into the kitchen. My mom was in the kitchen, other kids were right there. You know, they were wondering why I was late. I was very late this Friday. Because the kitchen is a few meters away from the main house, it was possible for me to sneak up to the main house, put on my home clothes, which was a long t-shirt, there was no shorts. Then from the house I went to the kitchen. My mom said, "Stanley, you are late today, what happened?" I said, "We had a lot of schoolwork. There was a lot of homework to do." So I sat there, we waited for food. It's slow cooking because our parents used to use charcoal and firewood to cook. And we boil a lot of our food, so it takes a lot of time to cook. And we are there waiting for food, but I'm thinking about my school uniform. I didn't come home with it, and in 2 days I will need it to go back to school. So every time we are waiting for food, everybody is hungry and telling all the stories. I was very quiet. I was like an angel, very quiet, meditating, but thinking of what will happen on Monday. So Saturday I was there. I would take our cows out grazing, come back in the evening. Saturday we went to church, and I'm praying to God to provide my uniform because my mom was going to kill me. That Saturday afternoon, in the evening, this lady comes home, the lady who picked our clothes, and she brought my uniform home to my mommy. I was not there. So in the morning, Monday morning, I'm in bed and my mom wakes me up. I'm not even waking up because how do I wake up and I don't know how I'm going to go to school? So mommy wakes me up and she says, "Stanley, come here. Why are you not going to school? It's time to wake up and you should get ready for school." I said, "I am not feeling well. I have a headache. I have this stomach ache. I think I am sick. I have malaria." My mom said, "I'm not that stupid. Here is your new uniform. They are not washed. They are dirty. Get into your uniform. There's no breakfast for you and go to school." I could not believe it. The uniform was there. I picked the uniform, the short, the shirt, and I ran to school. But this woman did not stop there. She reported what we had done to the principal. So all the boys that were involved in the African skiing, we were made to we were made to line up in front of everybody. Because every Monday you would have a national, I mean a school assembly. Everybody gathers and you are in rows, different rows. The young ones are in the front row, then the older ones behind like that. And we were called and we stood on the dais and we were told, you are going to become a lesson to everybody. Nobody is going to do like what you have done. You have run away with it every day, but on Friday somebody caught you. And this is not to be tolerated. He gave us a minute to be in our birthday suits and try doing what we were doing on the road that Friday. In front of everybody. We had corporal punishment at that time, which was more painful. Stripping naked and skiing in front of everybody was a piece of cake. We were used to it. So in a minute, all the boys, like 15 of us, we were all in our birthday suits. Remember, there was no rain and there was no smooth place to do it. The only thing we didn't do it, we didn't try to wet that spot. That was our punishment. Stripping naked, because girls and young ones, our age mates, they were just right there in front and they were looking at us laughing. Okay. You know, because everything, all our fundamentals, everything was out in front of these people. That was the punishment. I didn't do it again for some time. After 3 weeks, 4 weeks, we felt that we had to keep doing it. There was no way somebody was going to stop us. But what we did, we never did it on a weekday. We waited for Saturdays. And every Saturday, all the boys, even more boys, even we introduced this African skiing to other boys in the village. And every Saturday afternoon, if it had rained, we were having a good time. And we came to realize it's not just the pee that would make it smoother. We would look for cow poo and try to spread it on this place, and that acted like grease, and it was awesome. It's something that I miss, something that I do not miss, and something that I blame the white people for introducing in Kenya is underwears. They introduced underwears, they introduced boxers and shorts. We walked free. We don't have that freedom anymore. Our kids, when they are young, they are 2 years old, they already have pairs of shorts. They have boxers, they have underwears. They will never get to enjoy what we enjoyed as we grew up. That's a true story. It happened, and I miss it. I miss walking free, walking commando, and doing African skiing. But I had my time and I enjoyed it. Viewers, keep subscribing, keep following my stories, and watch this space for what is coming. See you in my next video, and keep safe. Thank you. African skiing. This was how we did it.